The following featured presentation is part of the Skywalking Network.
It's a Neverland Clubhouse, yeah, yeah, yeah. Think of all that we will share. Disney updates and fandom will take you everywhere. It's Courtney and Kelly, two sisters that will be together. Oh, 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 join our Neverland Clubhouse, yeah, yeah, yeah. Two is twice as nice as one. Memories with friends and family, everybody is welcome. It's Courtney and Kelly, two sisters guiding you through Disney. Together, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our 19th episode of Neverland Clubhouse. I'm Kelly, and now please welcome my sister, Courtney. And have you recovered from the weekend, Courtney?
Just barely. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I mean, the day after, on Tuesday, we got back. Well, we got back Monday afternoon, but Tuesday I was still like wiped. So, yeah, I'm better now, but yeah, super tired.
I do apologize for my voice because my voice has been gone all week since D23, and I don't know. I still haven't recovered either. My brain is still a little bit of mush. But please welcome Sarah from Skywalking Through Neverland. She's joining us today to break down D23.
Hey, ladies. I'm so excited to come on and discuss more D23 Expo with both of you. And let's see. So I think Monday, I pretty much tried to sleep a lot. It was crazy. Although we were still doing reels and all kinds of coverage from D23 Expo from the weekend. But I do have to say that, what was it? I think it was, what's today? Is it Wednesday or Thursday?
Today's Thursday.
Thursday. Okay. So after 2 days of being at home, on Wednesday, like halfway through the day, Richard and I are working and I'm like seeing some of the people who stayed, you know, they travel for D23 Expo and they stay in town and they go to Disneyland, and I'm seeing all their pictures from Disneyland, and I'm like, Richard, do you want to go work at Disneyland tonight? And he's like, yeah. So we went last night. And we brought our computers.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We went since we got there at 4:30, and we were able to do the skeleton dance magic key shot.
I saw that. That's so cute.
Yeah, we were super excited, and we were going to try to get over to the Haunted Mansion, but we didn't get there early enough because they close at 5, like for those magic key photos.
Oh,
I know. Yeah. But we spent the rest of the night like in Batuu and Galaxy's Edge, and and we might have had some pumpkin spice beignets.
Ooh, exciting.
I know.
And they were fantastic,
really
right?
good.
They were fantastic.
They
you know
were.
what's kind of weirding me out about this D23 is that it was really close to Halloween. And like D23 always felt like summer to me.
Mhm.
And like the fact that we were having Halloween at Disneyland and all of the Halloween stuff was out, it was kind of giving me like a little bit of it was just like weird.
But the pumpkin beignets, they were good, right?
Yes, yes. Yes, they were. They could have used some cinnamon mixed in with that powdered sugar.
Oh, okay.
They don't? I'm surprised.
No, I was very surprised too. And I don't know
Yeah.
how much powdered sugar they go through, man, because they fill those bags with powdered sugar.
Most of it ends up on the floor.
Yes. Or on your clothes.
On your clothes, yes.
Yes.
But you know what? We haven't welcomed everyone and told everyone what Neverland Clubhouse is about.
Right?
Because this is the Disney podcast where we go to different park lands and we share Disney stories, news, and what's going on with Disney Plus. We are your tour guides through Disney fandom, and we're so excited about it that we started talking about that and bringing you in before we even got to our intro.
I know. But on today's episode, we will be discussing our experiences at D23 Expo. And even though we did a roundtable every night with Skywalking Through Neverland, we wanted to go over some things that we did not get to discuss because we would have been there all night. So
It is true.
What do you ladies say that we head back to the convention center and head back into the D23 Expo?
Let's do it. Okay, so now that Disney owns everything, that means that we get tons of Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, and Pixar news at the Expo. And D23 Expo 2022, it took place this year at the Anaheim Convention Center, which it always has since it began. And it was on September 9th through 11th. Now, as Courtney mentioned, we already covered lots of movie announcements, Disney parks announcements, and some of our favorite moments from each day of the expo on 3 Skywalking Through Neverland podcast episodes, which you can find at skywalkingthroughneverland.com or your favorite podcatcher. But this episode is going to be a great companion piece to all of those because now we all have had time to ruminate a little bit and think about our experience more. You both went to a big panel that we did not talk about yet because, as you said, we would have been up all night. And this would be the Disney's Epic Entertainment Showcase, the musical, The Extravaganza. And this is all about Disney branded television. So can you tell us what Disney branded TV means and an overview of the panel, including your highlights?
So what Disney branded TV means is that it's everything that's going to be on Disney Channel, Disney Junior, and they also do some shows on Disney Plus. It's everything that's not Star Wars and Marvel on Disney Plus.
Except for one thing I want to say, but we'll bring that up later.
Definitely
We'll
only one thing. But yeah, the panel was hosted by Raven Simone and Lily Singh. They each have shows on the Disney Channel or Disney Plus that are going to be coming out. Raven is, of course, Raven's Home, which is a spinoff from That's So Raven back when we were kids. And Lily Singh is going to be on Muppet Mayhem, which is a new show that's coming out. With
awesome.
The Muppets.
And Raven is actually getting another season of Raven's Home, which means they are going into their 6th season, which is almost unheard of for Disney television, for Disney Channel. They usually cut it at like 4 seasons. So big props to Raven and Raven's Home and the crew over there.
Yeah. And even though it has gone through some major changes in the cast and what it's actually about.
Okay, so question, why did you guys choose this panel to go to? I'm curious.
Because I saw the name Disney's Epic Entertainment Showcase, the musical, The Extravaganza. I kind of thought that it was going to be a playoff of High School Musical, the series. So I was like, oh, this is where all the shows that are not Marvel and Star Wars, this is where all these shows are going to be. So, and there are a couple that I am super excited about that are coming out. Number 1, National Treasure, Edge of History. Thank you. And also the Santa Clauses, which is taking place after the original 3 movies. So,
okay. And what about you, Kelly? Why did you?
Well, we had a whole episode on Neverland Clubhouse about our favorite Disney Plus shows, and a couple of them are on here. Big Shot was one that we enjoyed. Doogie Howser Kamahala is getting another season and coming back. And Santa Clauses we're really excited for with Tim Allen. We've been a huge supporter of the Santa Claus movies. Also, I thought we were gonna get something from the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah,
we didn't.
They were nowhere to be found.
Nowhere to be found on the panel, which I found super sad. But
especially since their season 2 comes out on September 28th.
Oh,
yeah,
so
they did get a season 2, but for some reason they didn't get talked about. But also I know that they were really gearing up to announce something about Descendants. And we did get an announcement from this panel about Descendants. So we really, really were excited about this panel, and it was kind of really empty. I was really sad to see that this panel didn't get more love. And
Well, there was a little bit of a problem because the morning panel, which was the Lucas, Marvel, and 20th Century Studios panel, it ran an hour longer. So they ended up pushing this panel back to 4:30 instead of 3:30. Originally, it was going to be. And so they pushed it back to 4:30. And so that coupled with the title of the actual panel, I don't think anybody knew what it was about exactly. Everybody kind of was like, oh, it's just Disney Channel and Disney Junior. And so nobody was really interested in it. But I
Wow.
mean, not to say that when we were down in the basement waiting for it, that there wasn't a ton of people down there, because there were. It's just that when you actually got up into that 7,000 people room, there was definitely not 7,000 people in that room. And you could tell. And
Yeah, instead of bunching us all together and putting us in the preferred seats or the media seats that were available, they spreaded us all out. And
Oh, weird.
like we were completely on the other side of the stage. We couldn't even see the front of the stage, but there was nobody behind us. Like there was nobody in the back of the center. There was very little people, and you could tell by the clapping and the noise that there wasn't a lot of people in there.
which
Raven and Lily were,
definitely threw Raven and Lily off because their
Oh,
jokes
yeah,
just weren't landing the way that they should have.
yeah,
And
they were
they,
really funny. They were
yeah,
great. Yeah.
and also they kind of probably messed with the order a little bit because this panel moved back and the Santa Clauses had their own panel at 6 p.m., which was
oh,
after this panel. I think they had to move them up because they were still coming out on this panel. And so I think they had to do some reshuffling at the last minute.
makes sense.
It
All
did
right,
feel
so
like it a bit.
okay. Well, thanks for setting that up. Like,
Yeah.
I'm glad. So, what stuck out to you as we go down the roster of what happened at this panel?
Well,
The
this panel was so fun. Like
yeah.
it was so fun. There was music, there was dancing. It started with the High School Musical
No, it
the
started
musical
with a
this
DJ when we walked in.
Oh
There was a
yeah, it had
DJ
a DJ
playing.
when we walked in, and actually it started with the Muppets, right?
Yeah. Like something
Oh,
happened because all of a sudden, like the DJ was playing a song and then something happened. I can't really remember because it was like a weird transition. And then all of a sudden, Dr. Teeth from the Mayhem just came out and they like started like an Animal too. Animal and Dr. Teeth came out and then Animal counted it off and then they went into their song. That's going to be from, I think, the new TV series, which is Muppets Mayhem, and it's going to center around Dr. Teeth and the Mayhem band.
wow.
Yeah. And
So you got a concert from them.
we did. We got
had
a Muppet
whole
concert.
We had a whole mini concert from everyone because after the Muppets went away, the
High School Musical.
the series cast, the whole cast, including
Came out.
Joshua Bassett, including everyone, was there, and they were singing the Frozen songs from the season 3.
Yeah.
And they danced and made a whole musical performance even before
Aw.
Raven and Lily came out.
Yeah, and then they went
to
into
host.
High School Musical from High School Musical 3. So
Ooh,
it sounds like
yeah.
they got a season 4, which is unheard of for Disney Plus. They're the first show to get more than one season, or even more than 2 seasons. They are on their 4th season. And not that that means anything because Disney Plus has only been out for a year and they have 4 seasons, or 2 years. You know what I mean? Actually, 3 years. I'm sorry.
2019.
Yeah,
I mean,
2019.
2020 was that a year? I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
know. That's
So
what
the
I'm
pandemic
confused.
screwed it all up. But
Yes.
they are getting a 4th season and they are actually doing High School Musical 3, the movie, and
Oh.
doing the songs from that one because it's going to be their senior year now.
Well, actually, it was announced that the theme is that High School Musical 4 will be filming the reunion of the original High School Musical cast at their high school in the season 4, and they're all going to be extras in the movie. Now, this is what was not announced in the panel at all. I don't know where they got this or where they confirmed it, but this was announced, and now everybody thinks that Vanessa Hudgens, Zac Efron, Ashley Tisdale, Corbin Blue are all coming back for season 4 of High School Musical, the musical, the series. But nothing has been confirmed.
Yeah. Okay. So
but
really,
Corbin Blue was in season 3.
Oh,
as
okay.
as a
As
heightened
himself.
version of himself. Yeah.
No,
That's-
as an adult version of himself.
Oh.
He was doing so. Really quickly, the plot of season 3 is that they go to camp. It's the summer. They go to camp. This camp has been given the rights to do Frozen the musical, the high school, like the school version, you know how they do that. And then now Corbin Blue is going to come in and direct a documentary of them going through this process and opening night of them doing Frozen 3, and then going to put it on Disney Plus.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's so Inception.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I was gonna say-
it's so meta, it's ridiculous.
Because the High School Musical is called High School Musical, the series. So
Right.
season 4 should be called High School Musical, the series on the musical
Disney Plus.
on season like
The
so
reunion on
crazy.
Disney Plus.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's crazy. Okay, cool.
So but literally all they did was come out and
sing.
dance and sing and leave, unless
Okay.
they came out later, which we'll get to.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know.
All right. So
So there was that, and then we went into Lily and Raven came out and they introduced themselves and they started talking, and then they introduced one of the new shows, and one of the new shows is called American Born Chinese, and this is based on a book series called The Monkey King or something like that,
well, so it's based on a graphic novel by Jean
which is
Lun
the
Yang.
lore with the Monkey King, right?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
So the
They said
Monkey
it was
King
based off of
is-
the Monkey King. so-
No, well,
Oh.
the Monkey King is a villain in Chinese lore, like real Chinese lore.
Okay.
And the Monkey King is something that people have wanted to see for a very long time in
TV form.
movie or TV form, and the book along with that is going to be American Boy Chinese. That's what
Okay.
I got out of that.
But it stars Michelle Yao.
Woohoo.
It's basically the same director as
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. Thank you, Shang-Chi, and he brought a lot of the same people from Shang-Chi. So Michelle Yeoh, and a couple others. So
Wow.
and we
That's
were
cool.
very much treated to a Chinese dragon dance. Yeah,
Oh,
They,
how
um,
fun.
they did a little. I don't
And
know what you call it.
breakdancing, like rap singing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But you said the
that's-
graphic novel was what? Called what? Graphic
So it's
novel?
called American Born Chinese. The
Okay.
graphic novel is by Jean Lun Yang. This is from the Disney press release, and it tells the story of Jin Wang, who is an average teenager juggling his high school social life with his home life. When he meets a new student on the first day of the school year, even more worlds collide as Jin is unwittingly entangled in a battle of Chinese mythological gods,
Yeah,
including the
it's
Monkey
gonna-
King.
Yeah,
Monkey
including
King.
the Monkey King, which is a mythological person in Chinese
Wow.
lore.
Okay.
So yeah. And it seemed to me like they were going to be going in and out of dimensions.
Ooh, wow.
And fighting in other dimensions, and Michelle Yeoh said she was going to be fighting too in this series. So this one looked very cool. Very,
Wow.
very cool. The trailer looked really good.
And I want to say that the director is Dustin Daniel Cretton, and he also
Yes.
directed Shang-Chi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. And
And-
it looks like it's coming out on Disney Plus in 2023.
Yes.
Yes.
And then we were treated to National Treasure Edge of History, where they brought out the entire cast with Catherine Zeta-Jones and the kids that are going to be the new
There
era.
was big names at this panel, and
Yeah.
nobody was there.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why I was like, this is so sad. But and the trailer for this looks really, really good. We got a date. I believe it was December 14th
Yes.
of this year. So it's coming very, very soon. I'm a big fan of the National Treasure movies, the first and the second one. So I'm super looking forward to this. It looks like they have Harvey Keitel coming back as the cop that was originally dealing with Nicolas Cage when he stole the Declaration of Independence. They said we will learn what's on page 47 of some book. I forgot what the book was, but it was very important that we learn what's on page 47. So, and then the sidekick, I think his name was Jonathan or something like that. The sidekick to Nicolas Cage, to Ben's character. He's coming back in the show. So we are getting some people from the original movie as well as brand new characters.
Cool.
Yeah.
And it looks like this series is going to be an expansion of the movie franchise, and it's told from the point of view of a heroine, Jess, who is a brilliant and resourceful dreamer in search of answers about her family, and she embarks on the adventure of a lifetime to uncover the truth about the past and save a lost Pan-American treasure.
I'm excited. I'm a history nerd, and I love like little like scavenger hunt things, and that was what I loved most about these movies. Is it was one big scavenger hunt. Everything he did led to something else, another clue, and it had me on the edge of my seat. So I'm looking forward to having that same feeling with this show.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it looks fun.
And then they brought out the cast of Percy Jackson. Well, Richard wrote it. Like they brought out the author, and then he brought out the cast. The three main people. So, and this one, Kelly, you said that you felt like there was this massive pressure on these kids, right?
Well, I don't know if I think there was a lot of backlash around the original Percy Jackson movie with the kids that watched the books, because there was supposed to be a whole franchise with the Percy Jackson movie, and it didn't do very well, so they just kind of halted it. And then Disney obviously inherited it somehow, and now they're doing a TV show. And what the kid who's playing Percy Jackson, his name escapes me right now, he was very,
I think Walter or something. I think his name.
Yeah, he was very like articulate, and he was very like, I will do my best to make this character who you want it to be. Like, he was very much trying to convey the fact that he was really appreciative of having the role and just really wanted to do his best, which I get that might be a lot of pressure from the fandom at this point because of the first movie that didn't do very well.
Well, there was actually two movies. The first one did do well, and so sorry.
Oh yeah.
The first one did do well, and then they did the second one, and that one tanked, and so they halted the series.
Yeah. So I don't know if they've told this kid like this is all riding on you or something like that, but it definitely felt like he was feeling.
He was basically
pressure.
like pleading with the audience, like, "I'm doing my best. I promise that I will not mess this up." He seemed like there was a lot of weight on his shoulders.
He was almost about ready to cry.
Yeah. Very overwhelming.
I'm like, I feel for you. Just want to like hug you or something. He was so cute.
So it's
yeah,
Walker,
it felt a little.
It's Walker Scoble.
Walker.
Oh, yes, Walker
Okay.
Scoble. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know, but he really, really wanted us to know that he was trying his best and doing his best. So
yeah.
Well,
hopefully
that's
everything works
lovely.
out.
But I feel like with the actual author behind him, I
Yes.
think it'll be a lot better, because I don't think that the author actually had anything to do with the movies, or at least not as much of a hand-holding, like executive producer kind of thing, to where he's like in it from the start. You know what I mean? You know how that goes. So
definitely. Okay. Let's see. So do we know when that's coming out?
That one, I don't think we got a date.
Okay.
I think that one's sometime next year. I think they were
Yeah,
just in pre-production.
There is no date on the press release.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no, we did not get a date for that. But the one we did get a date for was the Santa Clauses, which they brought out the entire cast on stage. With
The entire cast that was there, yeah.
yeah, and then brought out Tim Allen separately.
Ah.
Yes, and this is going to be a 6-part series, and it's going to go through Santa's kind of thinking about retirement. And so we're going to answer some questions about what that means and how he passes that on. Because as we all know in the very first movie, well, the guy had to fall off a roof. So how do we pass that on without killing Santa Claus?
Tim
And also,
Tim Allen was kind of like, can we make it a mantle that kind of gets passed along like
Yeah.
a Marvel movie?
Like Black Panther,
Yeah.
right? Or yeah.
Yeah.
so there's questions that are going to be answered. What happened to the guy on the roof? Why does Mrs. Claus not have a first name? What happened to the last Mrs. Claus? Like all these things. What happened to Bernard? Is he coming back? I think he is.
Yeah,
So-
he is. So
But we only have 6 episodes to answer these questions, and
Oh.
they start November 16th of this year. So Courtney gets a
That's
birthday present.
Woohoo! It also has a 2-episode premiere. So you're going to get
Yes.
2 of those 6 episodes right away on
Yeah.
November 16th. Whoa.
Which makes it even sadder because it's going to be over shorter.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And the series, it stars Tim Allen, Elizabeth Mitchell, Elizabeth Allen Dick, Devin
Mm.
Bright, Austin Kane, Matilda Lawler, Rapali Red, and Cal Penn.
Yeah.
yeah.
And also one of those girls, the girl who plays Santa's real daughter is Tim Allen's real daughter. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
his daughter
I
plays
think
his daughter.
Elizabeth Allen.
Allen Dick. Yeah.
Yes.
That would be it.
Yep,
Yeah.
That would be it.
Yeah.
Wow. Cool.
Super fun.
Yeah.
And then, well, and after they came and went, and Raven and Lily tried to do a little bit where like it was snowing and the snow didn't happen and they were in scarves and they were like, can you tell that it's snowing? Because it's snowing, but it's not. And it only snowed in like this one little area
Oh,
right there.
no.
Yeah, that's why we think
Yeah.
that there was some like things that were happening behind the scenes because things were not working.
But this is where they announced Best in Snow.
Oh, yeah.
And these are the competition shows.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that they're gonna be
fun.
having.
So it's like the Great Christmas
non-scripted.
Light Fight. They're gonna do Best in Snow. There was 2 others.
They're gonna be
too.
making snowmen. They're gonna be like decorating snowmen. and
Oh, how
stuff.
fun.
Yeah.
Oh
And,
my gosh. Best in Snow will be a festive holiday special hosted by Titus Burgess.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
excited about that.
Yeah, and then you have the holidays around the world. They follow the a cappella group Pentatonics. And then
Cool.
the hip hop Nutcracker is Run DMC, I think. Is
Yeah.
a show with Run DMC.
Now,
So
are these all competition shows or no? These are all like
These
I
are
think
holiday
just
that
specials.
Best in Snow is gonna be a competition.
yeah, those are
show.
competition shows, and then like the other ones are like just non-scripted shows.
Okay, got it.
It-
Sorry, I'm just looking at this. The hip hop Nutcracker is going to have Twitch and Allison, his wife, which are from So You Think You Can Dance.
Yeah,
Correct. Yeah.
How exciting!
it's gonna
A
be a compilation of
reimagining
everything.
the Nutcracker Ballet.
Wow,
Wow.
beautiful. So this
And
is going to be
comfort,
basically
too.
like a holiday special on
Yes,
Disney
yeah.
Plus, as
Mhm.
well as they went through the holiday special section with snow. That didn't happen.
Right, exactly.
Oh, that's a cute way to do it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think it would have been a really cute bit if it actually like worked.
Yeah. aw.
and then they
Oh,
went
yeah,
in.
it has Rev Run, Fiction from So You Think You Can
Oh.
Dance, Twitch,
Fiction.
Comfort, Jabberwockies,
Oh, those are all the hip hop dancers from So You Can
Alex
Think. So You Can.
Wong,
yeah.
Dietrich.
yeah.
This was
Awesome.
not announced at the panel.
Wow.
Well, they kind of ran all three of them together, so it was kind of hard to keep track of what was what. It made it seem like all of it was competition shows, but it looks like it's not.
Okay, so it was the way it was presented at the panel. Okay.
Yeah.
It was basically just said, this is going to be the hip hop Nutcracker. That's it. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's cool. I didn't know that.
And then after the Santa Clauses came out, we went to the Proud Family, bigger and louder, whatever.
Louder and prouder.
Louder and prouder. They brought out like the voice of Sugar Mama and Trudy and La Cienega and Dijonay. And they introduced that they were getting a season 2 in February. Yeah. And then they introduced the writers of it. And so they just basically were there to promote season 2.
As with all of these big panels, it's like people come out for 2 minutes, they say a couple lines about it, and off they go.
Yeah. They can't say too much about it, but it is in February of next year. So around, in Black History Month and probably around Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Did you guys see any trailers?
We saw the trailer for the Santa Claus and Percy Jackson and National Treasure. They all had trailers.
Yeah, and American Born Chinese. We saw one for that.
They actually did a featurette, like a behind-the-scenes featurette for American Born Chinese.
Okay, nice.
Kind of a little bit.
Yeah,
awesome.
But, yeah, we did get trailers. It was good. Okay. We didn't get anything for the Muppets, though. Just the like a trailer or anything like that. We didn't.
Just the band.
Just
playing.
The band. Yeah.
Okay. Which is cool enough. I mean,
exactly. I mean, anytime you can see the Muppets live playing band, that's awesome.
Yeah. Wow.
And my favorite thing, we actually left early for this, so we didn't get to see it, but they did announce Descendants 4.
Yes.
And it's going to be with Uma.
Ooh.
And it's going to be following the daughter of the Queen of Hearts and Cinderella's daughter.
Okay.
And it's going to have one of the girls, Dara Renee from High School Musical, the musical series.
Yeah, she plays Courtney.
That's
Dara
awesome.
Renee plays Courtney.
Do we know when this is coming out? Descendants 4?
No, they didn't say anything.
They did not announce that.
And then when Uma was on there too, she did the same thing where she was like, "You girls are fantastic, and you're doing a great job." And I mean, I get that we haven't seen everybody in person for a very long time, but it just felt like there was a massive weight on their shoulders too, because it has not been announced that any of the original cast is coming back yet.
For Descendants?
For Descendants.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we will unless well, we know at the end of Descendants 3 we kind of got a peek into the Wonderland aspect, and that's where we're going to pick up the Queen of Hearts' daughter, I think.
Okay.
But I don't know if you can have Auradon without Mal and Ben.
Right.
Because they're the king and queen of Auradon. So we're going to have to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay.
And and then the other thing I do kind of was sad that we missed is at Big Shots. John Stamos did come out
Big
and
Shots.
He did Big Shots, and John Stamos did come out and he did a big tribute to Bob Saget, who we lost earlier this year. Because the last time he was with them, in person, he was at Disneyland, and I think it still hurts. Is a major loss for him still, very much still with him, and as with all of us. So, so I really would have enjoyed seeing Big Shots come out, and I went to the panel to see if any of the shows that they have already announced getting a season 2 was going to be there, and then they started with all this other stuff, and then we had to leave, and so I was very sad to miss that, but I'm glad that was brought up, and he actually got to do a tribute to him.
That's amazing. And Big Shot season 2 will premiere October 12th on
soon.
Disney Plus. So we do not have long to wait about that. So, which is good. That series is really good. It's really I don't think good. I think it's a little underrated.
I'm
vastly underrated.
I'm not a huge basketball fan, but I loved season 1.
Yeah.
And
it's not about basketball, it's about a daddy-daughter relationship.
It almost gives me kind of like a One Tree Hill vibe, which was about basketball with the brothers and not about basketball at all.
Right.
It's very much about a group of girls that just needs to find a community of their own, and friendships, and how they navigate their school, and how they
And the
navigate
social
father-daughter
media.
relationship. Yeah. And
the
the
father-daughter
father-daughter
relationship with John Stamos and his daughter in the show. I love that show. And I would have gotten a picture with the cast if we didn't have another reservation somewhere else.
Okay. Oh, sad.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out.
All right. Well, is that everything that you saw at the panel?
We ended.
Oh
with,
no, there was one more big
Marvel's-
announcement. No, there was one more big announcement.
Oh.
Elton John is doing a farewell tour.
Oh yeah. They're
at Dodger Stadium, and they're going to film it and put it on Disney Plus.
Well, they're not only just filming it; they're live streaming it.
Yeah, they're live
from
streaming
Dodger Stadium on Disney Plus.
Okay, cool.
in November. Like whenever he's going to be at Dodger Stadium, that's when they're going to film it and live stream it.
Huh.
And
Cool.
we did leave when they were announcing Marvel's
Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Yes, thank you. Moon Girl and Devil, what was it?
Dinosaur.
And they were putting on a huge protection number with Dinosaur, right?
Yeah, they were on roller skates. It was like
Yeah.
the like derby dash kind of thing, and they were dancing on roller skates, and it had like a big 70s vibe.
How fun.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it stars Diamond White as Lunella, who is Moon Girl, and Fred Tatasciore as Devil Dinosaur. He's a well-known name in the voiceover
He's
industry.
a voice actor.
Oh my gosh, and
yeah.
Alfred Woodard as Lunella's grandmother Mimi. Wow, this is quite the cast. Goodness.
Yeah. And then,
and the executive producer is Lawrence Fishburne. And
Yeah,
he
He
has
was
a
there.
role-
was there.
He was there.
Wow.
He was there. He came out and was there with Diamond White, and there was another girl there. I
Wow.
can't remember her name, but yeah, it was that one was really, really fun. They were doing like the theme song from the show, putting on like big musical number and showing us how the dinosaur was
going to sound. He
going to
like
sound.
he
was doing-
talked like the dinosaur, so we got to hear the dinosaur sound.
Yeah.
It seems like it's going to be a fun show for kids, like for anybody who likes Marvel, really. But I think it's geared towards the kids.
That looks fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that was the one Marvel announcement that we got, and we got one Star Wars announcement.
Yeah, which is the
that was-
Young Jedi one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we got the
Young
Young
Jedi.
Jedi,
So
Star Wars.
yeah,
on
so this
Disney
is
Junior.
here. Let me hold on.
Yeah, bring that one up.
So yeah, there was one Star Wars announcement that I like. Someone who wasn't there. My co-host Trisha Barr was not there at D23 Expo, and suddenly like on Monday she showed this picture of this cute crew of animals and was like, look, Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures, this is cool. And I'm like, well, they should have announced this at D23. They didn't. Well, I guess they did at
They
this
did.
panel.
Yeah, they
because
did.
This is a Disney Junior series,
Yeah.
and it's going to be called Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures, which will premiere in 2023 on Disney Junior and Disney Plus. So it will be on Disney Plus for those who don't have Disney Junior. And it's going to follow a group of younglings as they embark on missions where they'll help people in need and discover exotic creatures, all kinds of things. They'll learn valuable skills needed in order to become Jedi. So this sounds perfect for little kids, right?
Yes, it
And
does.
I mean, I'm so excited about this because they're not all humans. You know, some of them, there's one character called Nub, and it looks like an Ewok type creature.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, there's this image here. Let's see. Oh, okay, hold on. Well, it's making me, never mind. Yeah, there's an image with all of them. It's like floating around the internet. It looks super cute. With these characters that are, I mean, they're smart because, you know, you get kids in early loving Disney properties, and they'll grow up fans for life like us.
Yeah. And then it'll be thrown in there with like Mickey's Funhouse, and it'll be in there with Alice's Wonderland Bakery right now that's going on and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Cool.
yeah, so that was really fun. And then there was unscripted part of the show, which is where we left off. And Brie Larson is getting her own show, and so is Jeremy Renner. They're kind of doing a growing up series. Yeah.
And they're running, they're show running, right?
They're
not gonna
show
be in
running
them.
it. Yeah, no, it's not them.
Well, Jeremy Renner, I did see that he was in.
Well, it's
some of
called
them.
Renovation, so
Yeah, so it's kind of like
it might be. He might be.
I think
in
he's
it.
like renovating like houses and stuff for people. I didn't get the full synopsis, but it looked like he was out there doing some construction.
Doing stuff. Yeah. And it's called
Interesting.
Renovations, and then Brie Larson's is growing up. Or
Yeah.
Something like that.
Well, don't.
So
Okay, let's find out.
Let's find that one. Because
I know she was promoting Remembering for
Yeah,
a
remembering
lot of it.
is something.
Yeah, Remembering. Growing up was something different.
Growing Up is okay. Yeah, so Growing Up is now streaming on Disney Plus. Wow.
Yeah.
And it's created by Brie Larson and Culture.House, and it's a hybrid docu-series that explores the challenges, triumphs, and complexities of adolescence through 10 compelling coming-of-age stories. So I guess they follow certain people in each of these. Interesting.
Yeah.
and that's
Wow.
where we had to get up and leave because we had to go to a conversation with the Santa Clauses.
All right. So let's talk about this. Is there anything you learned more there or were excited about there?
Well, we got to actually see scenes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
At this panel, and they showed us a lot, and it looks so good. Like if you love the Santa Claus movies, you're gonna love these little episodes.
Yeah, because the costumes are authentic to what like they did in the movies. The elves look the same. There was 2 elves that were on the panel, Betty and Noel, and they're married and they're so cute. They're still like they because they're kids, but like they're married.
they're like 13-year-olds that are married.
And yeah, I mean Betty's kind of like Santa's right hand man. Kind of like how when Bernard went away, the little guy, I can't remember his name, Francis. I think it was
Spencer Breslin.
Yeah, Spencer
That was
Breslin's
his-
character.
Yeah.
I think his name was Francis or Frank or something like that. And he was so strict about like following the code. Well, she's kind of like him. And then Noah is kind of like he watches over the reindeer and the sleigh and makes sure Santa gets all the presents out and stuff like
He
that.
kind of is the instigator a little bit. Like, oh, you want some hot chocolate? Let's do like 300 shots of hot chocolate or something like that.
And then you have so in the second movie is when we got Calvin, which is Scott's and Elizabeth's son. So he's in his teenage years now. He's all grown up. We saw him. She was gonna have the baby at the end of the, or no, not at the end of, at the end of the second and into the third, and then at the end of the third movie, she was pregnant again with his daughter, and her name is Sandra, and they're now teenagers who've never left the North Pole and are very much engrossed in learning about the human world and what that all entails. We do not see anything about the ex-wife or her husband, Charlie. We don't know if he's coming back yet, or the little sister that they had, that the ex-wife had, that kid. And then, so there's still a lot of questions. They said that they wanted everybody to come back, but if everybody came back, it would be 300 episodes long. So we will not. And they wanted to do stuff with like the Father Time and Mother Nature and stuff like that. But then they thought that was getting too much into the spiritual stuff. So we may not see the Council of Extraordinary Creatures or however they call it, but We are going to answer the all important questions of what happens when Santa retires.
Nice.
Tim Allen is just the best. You can get him talking about pretty much anything, and he just goes off
on tangents,
the
man.
rails. But it was really, really fun to see the kids and how they're going to be interpreting the elves, and his new kids and what they're going to be interested in. I think this is going to be a really fun Christmas little series, and I can't wait to see it again.
It sounds like one that I'll watch like every year. Like I'll probably go through the 3 movies and then go right into this series just as a nice little button, because like Elizabeth Mitchell was talking about how like she has scenes where she's yelling at the kids and they're looking at her like what, and just like you get to see them as real parents too. To these kids.
I'm curious, did they address the fact that like, because I think I saw the first Santa Claus and haven't seen any of the others, so I like have I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Oh no.
but like, do you know if the series do they address the fact that maybe people haven't seen the movies and that the series would still be enjoyable for people who maybe not be as familiar with the Santa Clauses, the movies?
They said they wanted to, like, they took inspiration from the original movies, so I'm not quite sure if you actually need to see them. It definitely will help you. I don't think it's going to hurt to go back and see them. I
mean, because the premise sounds cute, like kids who grew up in North Pole and need to like acclimate or learn about humans, and Santa Claus retiring. I mean, those sound like interesting 30-second elevator pitches.
Right. Well, the main thing is that they are trying to interview people for the Santa Claus position. That is the main through line of the 6 episodes, because we got a scene where Peyton Manning is a football guy, and he is interviewing Peyton for being Santa Claus. But you can't just walk up to people and randomly be like, hey, can I interview you for being a Santa Claus? You seem like you'd be a good fit because you're a positive affirmation in the world. No, you have to go through their dream world and pull them in through their dreams and try to interview them. So people are confused and not sure what's happening. And
like Peyton Manning says, ho, ho, Omaha.
Yeah, the question is like, oh, give me your best ho ho ho, and he goes ho ho Omaha, oh ho Omaha, because he's from Omaha.
Oh, okay.
And
that's also a football term. So.
Yeah, it's a football reference too. But like, I think there's gonna be multiple of these people that he pulls in from his dreams, like multiple famous people.
Yeah. Oh, fun.
And interviewing them for the Santa Claus position. There's also another through line of Cal Penn's character, who is
he's a tech guru, so he's basically up in the North Pole working on some tech innovations. I think he knows about Santa, but I'm not sure. And he wants to do good.
He's like an Amazon. He's like Jeff Bezos type of
thing. Yeah, and he wants to do good in the world, but the greed gets to him, so it kind of gets all twisted. And his initials are SC, so we don't know if maybe or maybe not he might be the next Santa Claus, because Scott Calvin went through the same thing a little bit. So there's all these like maybe they will, maybe they won't kind of things, and they're not safe.
So I think there are Easter eggs for the audience that knows the movies, but I also think there's going to be through lines of people that maybe have just seen the first one or maybe have not seen them at all. So.
Yeah. So, and there also is a storyline where like he lost his wife, so they're dealing with single parenting.
Oh, his daughter's so cute.
Oh, adorable.
Adorable. And she was little Miss Sassy on the panel.
Okay. She's like 5 years old and knows everybody's lines and corrects them when they're wrong. And it was
she was like, funny. I corrected Tim a lot.
How old is she?
She's 5.
Like 5
or something like that. Yeah, she was super cute. And then there's Tim, who was like, well, we tried to keep it authentic, and we filmed in the North Pole with the real Santa Claus looking over our shoulder, It's all
Yeah.
authentic.
Yes, that's
He
cute.
wasn't breaking that.
No. Aw, I love
Super
that.
fun.
It was a really cool panel, and like it was really cool to go more in depth with the cast. So
That's what's
while we-
awesome about D23 Expo. Like we
Yeah.
can do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I love
That's
that.
why I do really like the smaller panels. I mean, it was fun. This was the first year we did mostly big panels. And I mean, not that I regretted it one bit, because let me tell you, being in the room, that's emotional enough, and it is a great experience. But being in those small panels and getting to really get into the nitty-gritty of some of these things is just really great.
That's
Well,
awesome.
you know, in the bigger panels, they come out, they say hi. They're like, "Oh, you're directing it. You're gonna be in it. This is your character or whatever." But in the smaller panels, you get to like really spend time with them, really ask them what they enjoyed about filming it, what their favorite parts were. Getting to know the new characters, getting to know the older characters. I think that's kind of like the specialness of D23.
Agreed. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, going back to a big panel, the Disney Parks panel. Kelly,
Yeah.
do you want to bring up something?
Yeah, so we all were very fortunate to be in the room for the Disney Parks panel. And I, coming home, we're all decompressing and looking at everything that everybody's posting. And of course, you come across a few things that are not so positive about the panels, right? And I just saw that there was a lot of negativity around what was announced at the parks panel. And I kind of wanted to get your guys' thoughts, because I know that there was a pandemic. Disneyland was closed for a year, and we've only had Disneyland reopened for a year. And do you feel like we got enough announcements around the parks panel?
So I thought it was interesting what they did do, because having been to all of the D23 expos, like you guys, like we're used to some doozies. I mean, well, it wasn't in the parks panel that was announced, but like Galaxy's Edge was, talked about at the parks panel, and the Galactic Star Cruiser was announced there. I mean, those are announcements I remember particularly because we focus on the Star Wars stuff. But so I do feel that the pandemic definitely affected what they talked about, because as they mentioned in the parks panel, like, Disney's on a steam train, a steam engine bullet train, with plans and stuff for 10 years in the future. And it was going. And the pandemic just bam, stopped everything. And
Halt.
so, exactly. So they
Yeah.
had this time to kind of stop, revamp, talk about things. And because of that, and because of how long it actually takes to get things off the ground, they are not at a place where they can make some of these giant announcements. And instead, they chose to have this blue sky session at the end of the panel, which I thought was very interesting. So they brought out Chris Beatty, and who is an Imagineer that Richard and I have interviewed several times at the Disney Parks pavilions in different various D23 expos, and also Jennifer Lee, who is the head of Disney Animation. And so they came out and led this section of the panel I thought was really interesting, that was not necessarily announcements, but of what they're thinking about creating in various areas of different Disney parks around the world. This is where we have, like at Animal Kingdom, Dinosaur or what's the Dino Land?
Dinoland.
Dinoland. That's what
Dinoland
what's the
USA.
Dino Land called? Dinoland.
Dinoland USA.
So this is where
Keep it simple.
wouldn't it be great if we have Zootopia and
Mhm.
Moana in there, because they both dovetail with the zeitgeist of Animal Kingdom. So I think that's amazing. Now, it's not an announcement, but it is what they're thinking of, and they have concept art. So we got this whole section. So while I was disappointed to not hear about certain things like Tomorrowland revamp or what they're doing with the the tree house,
Right.
like
The
things
tree
like
house,
that.
yeah.
I did find it interesting what they chose to talk about, and the blue sky session was the most interesting. So I was a little disappointed, I gotta say, but I think they did a good job in making the panel a fun event because they had a lot of musical numbers and things that were really enjoyable.
Yeah, so a lot of people's complaint is that nothing new was announced. But I kind of disagree because us being in the Disney culture, following all of Disney's social medias, there's a lot of things that I didn't know that were coming to Disneyland, especially. And so when people say nothing new was announced, I kind of disagree with that because we didn't know that we were gonna get a new fireworks show, a new World of Color,
A Hulk.
a Hulk. Like everybody's been saying, bring Hulk, bring Hulk, and now we have Hulk, and nobody thought that was good enough. And I don't know. It was really, really interesting to me because, and I was trying to find out if is it the fact that we were in the room that they were exciting, or is it the fact that they weren't in the room, the fact that they heard it secondhand or third hand or just on the internet and read about it.
I mean,
maybe made it less exciting.
I feel like it might be a little bit of both. I full 100% agree with you. We got a lot of new stuff. I do think that they chose to focus on the littler things because, not to say that a new ride in Avengers Campus is not little, but we didn't get a date on it. You know what I mean? But they did choose to. I mean, not every year we can get a brand new land. We're just not. And actually we are. We're getting San Francisco. That is going to be a new land. It is Pacific Wharf now. It is not San Francisco. So we are going to get a new land, but it's going to take a while because, like you said, the park was closed. Disney was shut down for a year and a half. And at part of that time, their construction workers were laid off. Their cast members were laid off. So everybody's forgetting that Disney came to a halt. Yes, people were working from home, but for a little bit there, Disney came to a halt and they still haven't fully recuperated.
Mm-hmm.
And people who are not following Disney consistently, like a lot of us are, I'm not saying that everybody should because it's exhausting. It is. But if you're not following them consistently, then you have no idea what they're constantly pumping out and what they had to go through. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to justify anything about their pricing or whatever, but I'm telling you, they were shut down completely, bare bones minimum for a year and a half. And now they're just starting to come back and do it. So the fact that they didn't announce anything huge and they elaborated on stuff that they announced in 2019 is not surprising to me because walking in that pavilion on the floor, I thought we were just going to get less than what we did because it was everything that they had already announced, everything in that pavilion. Okay. So going off of that pavilion, I didn't think we were going to get announcements of a new fireworks show, a new World of Color, an entire celebration for the platinum anniversary.
Yeah,
we got tons of info that I just didn't think we were going to get.
Yeah. I do have to say that one of the things being in the room, they did kind of hype up things that weren't as hypeable.
Right.
so for instance, one of the main things they're and now we're going to talk about Galaxy's Edge, and to talk about that, we're going to bring out Jon Favreau, everybody. Yeah. And Jon Favreau's coming out, and he's all excited, and we're what are they going to announce? Are they going to announce this restaurant? Are we going to have an ice cream place? Are we is there going to be some kind of what's going to happen? And then the Mandalorian with baby Grogu comes out on stage, and that's the big announcement, which they had already mentioned.
Exactly.
Was supposed to be part of Avengers Campus. And it was funny. It was but I was holding my breath, but we already knew this. And
I know. I turned to Kelly and I was like, "What is happening now? Like, what's going on?" And then it was Mando, which they announced at Star Wars Celebration that he was coming later on when we got Fennec Shand and Boba Fett in the park right away. But still, Mando looked fabulous. He was good. I mean, he looked amazing.
Yoda,
Grogu. And Grogu.
Yeah. It's
true.
true.
Yeah.
It was
and
just
then
funny.
the Hulk came out, and we had already seen the exoskeleton, like the bare bones, but then we got to see him as the Hulk, and that was kind of really cool too. But yeah, they did hype up a lot of stuff, like, you know, they did the new name of the new ship that's going to come out, the Disney Treasure. They hyped that up a lot. They did announce 2 new destinations, Australia and New Zealand.
I think that's rather exciting. I don't know.
That's
If they
super
hyped
cool.
I didn't hype that one up enough.
And then,
because-
yes, a big part of it was Splash Mountain, which is just a retheme that it hasn't even gone down yet. So we have no idea when it's supposed to be ready, except for late 2024. But they're working really hard on these things. And they've already have Toontown in the works, which they're redoing completely, and Downtown Disney. And they have all these projects going on. So they are working really hard. It's just, they did, you know, spill the beans in 2019, but that just means that we would have already had this if there was not a pandemic, and we would have had other announcements. Am I sad that we didn't get to know what the tree is? Yeah, because it's being worked on right now, and it's not a big tree, so it should be done soon. So why didn't you just tell us?
Gonna be. Yeah, please just tell us.
Maybe it's still gonna be the
Tarzan.
I mean, that would be the biggest letdown of the season
of all.
Of all, if it was still Tarzan. But I don't know. But my thing is that, like, they're still trying to deliver on the promises that they promised us in 2019, and and that what they're trying to do, and I think Disneyland was one of the ones that got the most announcements, because usually the international parks are heavier than Disneyland. But
looking at what was in the pavilion, I literally thought it was going to be Asian park heavy. Like, I literally thought we were going to get like just this little snippet of Disneyland myself.
But they didn't get anything new at all, because they only got what was already announced, and how far along that is. So I was actually pretty happy with the announcements that were made about Disneyland, because Disneyland doesn't usually get announcements, and hasn't gotten announcements since Galaxy's Edge, other than just kind of like, oh, we're going to be doing Splash Mountain at some point, and Toontown's in the works, and we're going to bringing Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. So I was kind of glad that the panel was very Disneyland heavy, and like it seemed like the room was not very happy that Disneyland was getting new fireworks show. We're bringing back Magic Happens, because a lot of people forget that Magic Happens only happened for 2 weeks.
It didn't get its rightful deserved place in the sun.
Get its rightful deserved run. We would have had it for almost 3 years at this point.
Wow.
You know, it would have been an old parade, but it's still a very, very new parade. And I want to see it. I didn't get to see it.
We did not get to see it, so
yeah, so I'm glad they announced that. Also they announced that Harmonious is going away.
They just put that in, and that's fantastic.
Put that in, and
Enchantment's going away too, and they're bringing back Happily Ever After. So there's like lots of new stuff.
I mean, they are old stuff that they're bringing back, but I think people have wanted that to be coming back. So,
and it's like Disney can never win. You know what I mean? If they announce Happily Ever After is coming back, it's like, well, yeah, but we didn't get anything.
What about
new.
Wishes?
Exactly.
What about Wishes, or oh, what about our land that needs to be worked on? And it's like, I think because Disney keeps putting off Tomorrowland, it's making people a little angry. And Disney keeps putting off certain things. Like I really wanted them to, in that blue sky moment, blue sky Tomorrowland. I think that would have made people a little
happier.
Like,
Very
oh,
true.
okay, it's at least in the works, or it's at least on their minds.
Because it
but
was
they
at
didn't
one
even wanna
point, and they
touch it.
totally scrapped it. Like, I don't know what they're doing with it now.
Mm.
Because they started work on it, like getting rid of the French fry rocks, and now I don't know if that plan's still going along. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
And Porto's coming to Downtown Disney.
I'm so excited.
That was so funny, that announcement, because those of us who know what Porto's is, we're like,
Yes.
Porto's in the South Bay, like, or not South, like down in Orange
Down
County,
south.
like amazing.
Yeah.
And other people were like, what?
What?
But then they ate the free gift.
Yeah.
I heard somebody say, I don't know what Porto's is, but this pastry is amazing.
Yeah.
So after they ate their free gift, which was 3 pastries from Porto's,
Oh,
they're coming around. They're coming around.
There will never be a short line of Portos.
but it goes quick, like we said.
Porto's have figured out a pretty good system, so they can do it. If anyone can do it, Porto's can do it.
Yes.
However, we don't make trips over to go get Salt and Straw, so maybe we'll have to make some trips over for Porto's.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, I think that's all we can talk about the Disney Parks panel. If you want to hear more of a play-by-play, that is on day 3 of Skywalking Through Neverland, the expo coverage. But now this is where we can get into a little bit of our whole expo experience, now that we've had some days to think about this. So the show floor, you two spent quite a bit there, and I think we should all go around and say just something that you thought about this year's show floor.
Okay.
I'll start.
Okay. All right.
I did hear people, say that there wasn't very much on the show floor, but I tend to disagree. Where there wasn't very much to actually buy on the show floor, there was lots of things to do. You could go and sit at the Disney Bundle stage and listen to panels. You could go to the Expo Live stage and listen to panels and live streams. You could go into the Hulu, and they had everything Hulu Pavilion, and they had what they call activations. So there was stuff you could actually go and take pictures with and do videos with, and it just was a lot more and we hit it at the right time where there wasn't very many people in there, but I could definitely see it as a people sucker, you know what I mean, where it wasn't so crowded on the show floor this year. And they brought in Walt's plane, and there was a lot more to see, I think, than actually shop and go and spend money. You know what I mean?
Was there a particular place or pavilion that you liked best?
Let's see. Pavilion.
And Kelly, that's for you too.
I think I really enjoyed the Hulu one the best.
Yeah, you got to be in a video for Only Murders in the Building, right? Their opener. Exactly.
With their opening title sequence, we had one of the cast or the crew members direct us and tell us what to do, while the video recorded us, and then they played it back for us, and we got that video all together as a souvenir thing. We got to make doctor badges. We got a photo from Grey's Anatomy, so we are now part of Sloan, Medical Center.
Sloan Memorial.
Yeah, exactly. And then we got to take a picture in front of the Good Morning America sign, we were in Times Square. It was really fun.
Cool.
And then we got buttons, and then you could do videos of different things happening to your face with American Horror Stories, which freaked me out because it was this black curtains behind us, and they were don't be afraid to play with the makeup and the hair, and they had wigs that you could put on, and I was just what is going to jump out at me? Because if you know American Horror Stories, things are scary there.
Yeah.
And And yeah, so it was really fun to just get into all of the different. It wasn't just the Hulu Pavilion; it was actually the journey of storytelling. So it was
Okay.
ABC, Freeform, Hulu, like all of it together. So that's why.
Cool.
So
And Kelly, what about you?
Well, I think the Disney Plus stage was really, really fun and cool. They always had something going on there. There was at one point Christy Carlson Romano and Will Friedle was there promoting Kim Possible, talking about Kim Possible.
the 20th
And they had
anniversary of Kim
yeah,
Possible.
and then they had an anniversary of Smart Guy. I wish we could have stayed longer at the Disney Plus stage because if you couldn't get into a panel, if you just stayed around the Disney Plus stage, you would have had a great expo because all of the stars came right to you instead of trying to go find them.
And
you
much
know?
closer too.
Yeah,
Exactly.
much closer on the stage. Also, I felt like Lucasfilm and Marvel had great costumes to look at from their
Shows
and movies. And I really enjoyed the show floor. I think the show floor was the best for us this year than any other year that we've been. And I would have enjoyed spending even more time on the show floor. But we did do the bigger panels, and that's always going to be a choice whether you do the bigger panels or you do the show floor, because the big panels you have to kind of like wait in line for a very long time. A lot of freebies, a lot of free stuff. We came home with so much free stuff.
Yeah. This was the first year I think there was more giveaways than ever before. And I think it was because a lot of those like special moment ones that were supposed to happen just on a whim before were now reservation based. So now each booth could do something, you know,
Especially
just
free.
to tap in your badge and, you know, everybody got something. Like it wasn't just like you randomly had to be there to get it, you know.
Yeah.
You could walk up to the booth at any time and you could get something, which was really
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, because we got a lot of free stuff from the panels, and that was great. The posters are always really cool, but our friends who didn't even go to a big panel, didn't even go to a panel at all, almost.
No, they went to one.
Well, they went to a smaller one. They went to a small one on Sunday, but they came home with so much free stuff just walking around the show floor, and they were pretty happy about it. Let me tell you.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
cool.
just the Disney Movie Insiders booth itself had like 4 or 5 giveaways.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
depending on whether you were a Disney Plus subscriber or a movie
member.
insider as well, or just a gold member, they gave you like 5 different things. There was a Mickey pin, like a small little Mickey pin, and then you had a Hercules 25th anniversary pin. They gave you 500 bonus points to put into your movie insiders account so that you could get the Megara pin that was the counterpoint, because on Monday they were releasing the Megara pin and she cost 400 points, but so they gave you 500, so it covered the points that you needed for Megara. And so then you had Hercules and Megara. They took our photo with an avatar background, which then was glossed over with a bigger that turned into a mosaic of an avatar.
Yeah, our picture's in that huge mosaic of the avatar.
Yeah,
cool.
Really fun. Yeah.
You guys are gonna have to share all these on your Instagram, you know.
Yeah, Courtney. Yeah,
well, they're all in the reels, but I will definitely
okay.
all the reels that I've posted, they're pictures that I've taken of all of this. But we'll
post the Hulu stuff too.
Yeah. I haven't done a reel of the Hulu stuff yet, but I'll also do it as a static post as well.
Cool.
But yeah, and then the animation like pavilion in itself, you got to take a picture with Asha from the new movie Wish. And you got a poster of art.
Well, you guys spent
Another
like
wish.
way more time on the show floor than I did, because I was like running from panel to panel. So like I'd have an hour here, a half hour there, running around like buying my Rock Love jewelry or something like that. Like, so I didn't get nearly as much free stuff as you guys. I do have to say though, like, so they always do a good job with the Disney branded pavilions, things like that, but they always have a D23 Expo marketplace section, which is like for all the sellers, like the independent sellers,
I think it was
to
called
set up
the
booths.
Emporium.
Yeah,
Okay, that's what it was called here. Yeah, it's either the marketplace or the Emporium. So I went there and it was a lot smaller than it has been in the past. It was right up front, which was nice because normally it's like way in the back or on the side. But that's the only place where I was like, oh, I wish there was more here, because I usually find some interesting like things. Like one time, you know how Mickey ear hats, they used to sell all those Mickey balls that you'd put on your car antennas.
Yes.
Well, someone had made like these sticks that sit in your Mickey ear hats that you could put the Mickey balls on, so you could have like Mickey balls and ear hats together. I was like, this is neat, you know, and I bought some things. But so they didn't have as many that as I would have liked.
I know there was this one company that we always like to go and see, the Dreamers Box. They're a subscription company. We know the owner. Her name's Holly. I was trying to find her booth. She usually has a booth at D23, and we couldn't find it. We couldn't find her, so I don't know if she was there or not. And we usually buy a box from her, but
yeah, I know this time it was a lot smaller, and the people who were there were invited. Like you couldn't just go in as a random person. You couldn't request. Disney invited you. So it was mostly, it was repeats basically that had been there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something really fun that we did right at the end of the expo. We it was like 6:30 and we were just looking around the show floor for something to do. We hadn't gone to the last panel and everything. And we ran into the Disney trivia booth.
Yeah.
Now, the Disney trivia booth was an old Disney trivia game. The old like
board game.
Gold tin that looked
Board
like
game.
Mickey. It was a board game. And it had the adult trivia and the kids trivia, and you would go around the board game. Well, they're re-releasing an updated version of the Disney trivia game. And it's all the way up to Encanto, I think. And
I think he said past Encanto.
yeah, maybe even past Encanto. But he was just like reading Disney trivia off of the cards.
Yeah.
And just a group of us were just standing there kind of tired from the 3-day weekend and just kind of looking for something to do before like the expo was finally over. And we were just standing there with a bunch of people answering Disney trivia. It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the sad thing is that they took out all of the like hard questions from like the 1960s like live action films that a lot of people haven't seen. Some people have, a lot of people haven't, because we were like, oh, do you have anything with like Haley Mills or anything like that? And he was like, no, we went through and took all of that out. And was
wow, updated it.
Oh, that dates us.
That's funny.
But then the purple ones were always the ones where like we had to think about it real hard, like, you know, because it was always live action films.
We were always like really good at the trivia, but then Courtney would be like, get like a really easy purple question, and then she'd get the purple medallion, and I'd be like trying to get it because it's a really hard question.
You have to get it. Yeah. Wow. Cool.
That was fun.
They're doing a special edition on Amazon where you can get Stitch and Eve as little pieces.
Yeah.
In addition to all the pieces that come with it.
Nice. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you to choose now, and you can only pick one thing. What is your favorite thing that you got at the expo? Either a freebie or something you bought, but only one thing. Only one thing. Kelly, you go first.
Okay. Well, I have mine right here, and I'm super excited about it. is my Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, Thomas Kincaid
Oh,
painting.
Canvas.
Yeah, canvas painting, because it's got my Scarlet Witch on it.
it's beautiful. That's
Yeah,
cool. And where's it gonna
it's
go?
cool. It's gonna go right above my vanity, right in front of me, where my other Thomas Kincaids are. Yeah.
Aw,
It's my favorite. I also got a Moana one, but this one is my favorite.
cool. Beautiful.
Let's
All right,
see.
Courtney, one thing. One. I know you have problems.
I do. I have problems. I think my Captain Marvel ring.
Yeah.
From Rock Love. It is a stackable ring, so there's 3 rings in one. It's a little. I got the silver version, so she made silver and gold. And I got the silver version of it, and the blue, and there's one of the rings has a little blue blue gems on it, and it like points down, and then the star stacks on top of it, and then the other one, the third one, is the same, except it points upwards, and then it has red on it, so it Captain Marvel.
Yay. Yeah, that's super pretty.
Yeah.
All right. And then
yours?
my favorite thing. So I was running around before the Legend ceremony, and I ran into the Laughing Place booth, which I follow Laughing Place a lot. I watch a lot of their live streams and comment, so they like know who I am. And I'm also friends with Mike Celestino, who is their lead Southern California editor and Star Wars, all the Star Wars stuff content. And he had tweeted earlier that day that he had brought a lot of freebies, giveaways that would be at the Laughing Place booth if you answered some Star Wars trivia. Ooh. So since I was there right before the Legends ceremony, it meant I was at the Laughing Place booth like first thing.
Well, yeah, because none of us were on the floor yet.
Exactly. Yes, I was on the floor because I had a media pass and I could get it where I wanted, but which was nice. So I was there, and Doobie, he's one of the owners, asked me a Star Wars trivia question, which was not too hard. When did the first movie come out?
What year? If you got that one wrong, Sarah, I think Richard would disown you.
I know. So I got to pick my prize, and I picked this amazing Fennec Shand Black Series figure.
Wow.
And I was excited, and I took it out of the box yesterday, and I took it to Disneyland, where Fennec and I went on a girls' night. We went around and took some pictures and video, which I then shared on Twitter and Instagram. And I had to tag Ming-Na Wen, who is a huge Star Wars fan and fangirl herself. And she quote tweeted my tweet and said, Fennec Shan's been busy on Twitter. So it was so exciting.
That's fantastic. I love when that happens.
So yeah, that was like the best gift from the expo.
Yeah.
It was exciting. Okay.
But we do have to shout out 2 special people that helped us get into the Marvel panel on Saturday. Patrick and Tim, thank you so much. We didn't have tickets, or we didn't have wristbands for the Marvel Star Wars Lucasfilm originally. We didn't have an RSVP. And we got up stupid early in the morning just to find out that Disney did not keep their promise and let people queue up overnight. So the line got cut off at 5:40 in the morning, before like 40 minutes after the line of security opened, and we all got through. And then they were like, well, if you don't have a reservation, then you can't go and see Marvel. So we resigned ourselves to the show floor, and we did tell this story on Skywalking as well. But we resigned ourselves to the show floor, and then Kelly went to go get breakfast and was very fortunate to run into Patrick, who,
he had a extra reversation, and I convinced him to give it to us. And I don't know if I hard convinced him really hard, but I really, really wanted it. And it really just so happened that he had an extra reservation with his friend as well. so that we both got to go. And yes, we do have to give a huge thank you and shout out to Patrick and Tim, who were amazing to talk to and really fun to hang out with, and just created some Disney magic for some Disney girls that were very disappointed.
Yes.
Aw,
So thank
that's
you.
awesome.
Yeah.
Disney magic is real, and it happens at D23. And just, stand in line and talk with people around you, and you'll find Disney magic.
I think that was like the most fun that we had during the weekend, was just talking to the people around us. And we always say that. We always say that the people around you are like-minded people. They're there for the same reason. If they're up at 4:30 in the morning in line, and you're up at 4:30 in the morning in line, you have something in common.
Yeah, you're just as crazy.
And you're just as crazy
Yeah.
as each other. So talk to people, get to know people. We were just in the coffee line saying how ridiculously long the coffee and muffin line was.
Yeah.
And ended up talking about reservations and Marvel and Star Wars and all kinds of things. So never be afraid to talk to somebody in line, because they're doing the same thing you are. And we love doing that. We did that multiple times over the weekend. Of course, we ran into Richard and Sarah a few times. Of course, we ran into Jen and Mike from the Disney Holics a few times.
Yeah.
And we love running into our convention people. But it was just really, really fun. And to have that happen, I mean, I think me and Courtney were just so grateful, and we could have cried all day long. And we're just
Emotional
we were so
roller
happy.
coaster, just a bucket of tears.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
because
I
I literally was like, what? Like, it audibly came out of my mouth when I heard that it was already cut off. And I was like, you guys specifically said there was no overnight queuing. And then there was people who said that they were there at like 1 or 2 in the morning in line. And that's just disheartening to always hear,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Disney magic does it again.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, some Disney magic is we ran into Michael Vargo a few times, from our D23 president, and he's always so nice and kind to us as well. And we were just so happy to run into him, and his team. Him and his team did a fabulous job.
They really
I know there was some hiccups.
This year.
I know there was some hiccups, and I know there was some things that weren't very smooth, but I think that they tried to make it really, really smooth.
At least there was no bum rushing of any celebrities this time, right?
Yeah,
like
there was no bum
Dove
rushing
and
of
Sophia.
celebrities. Yeah, there wasn't any waiting in long lines for merch.
Yeah, the virtual queues worked fantastic.
Were fantastic, and the fact that they used the Disneyland virtual queue system was really nice. I know we were able to get a few virtual queues, so I think that's something that they should push forward with. Having one of the shops upstairs in one of the rooms was nice, so that the show floor had more room.
Yeah.
And wasn't a shop on the floor.
And the fact that
really
they
cool.
separated the limited edition merch from the regular merch was fantastic.
That really helped a lot.
Yes.
A lot. And I'm sure there's some people in there that are,
not, you can't make everyone
not happy about that either, but
this experience with this shopping and the virtual queue, this experience was good for people that didn't really care about shopping, or didn't really care about what they were shopping for. I mean, obviously we wanted some Expo merch, and we did eventually get up into that shop, but by
the time it was almost all gone, but
it was
we
almost
got a few
gone,
things. We got,
but you know what? We got other things, and we enjoyed our time. So, we always say, and we always try to abide by. We do what we can do. We don't get upset by what we can do, because it's all magical and it's all great and it's all special. Yeah. So that's the motto that we go by, and that's what we try to go for.
And yes, we were upset about Marvel at first, but you know what? If that ticket situation hadn't worked out, we would have been fine on the show floor. I
would have gotten a picture with John Stamos. Who knows?
Exactly, right?
Oh, that's true.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So
because I think that was the panel that was conflicting with my Big Shot picture.
Ah.
So who, you don't know. We would have maybe gone over and got a picture with the Big Shot cast. Maybe gone over and done the Disney Plus stuff at the Disney Plus.
Definitely
stage.
would have made it to Muppets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely would have made it to Muppets. We didn't make it to Muppets.
Yeah.
But again, we had so much fun, and we had so much fun covering everything and putting everything out on social media. I did get a little shout out from our travel agent, Marion. She said that we had one of the best coverages and
Yeah.
loved following our stories.
Aw.
good.
And she was like, you guys had some of the best seats in the house. And I was like, it was all made by Disney magic and just happenstance.
Yeah.
So I hope
Yay.
everyone had a good time following along.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Well, with that, I think we have reached the end of another episode, but we want to hear from you. So did you go to the D23 Expo? Did you watch any of our stories or follow us on social media? Let us know. And also to see more video, to see more pictures from the expo, just head to Instagram, where you can follow at Neverland Clubhouse Pod and also at Skywalking Pod, because both of us have done reels from like various pavilions or from the various panels. Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah,
Panels.
days, yeah.
And also I did a bunch of Instagram stories from those big panels that are now saved in highlights. So you can always access those. If you want to hear Harrison Ford talking about Indiana Jones, if you want to hear, some of the
See him
Disney
cry.
Plus. Yeah, see him cry, all kinds of
Oh.
things. It's all
Rogers
there.
the Musical.
Yes, Rogers the Musical. That's actually on our YouTube channel right now.
Yes.
The whole one.
Yes.
So
Rogers
yeah,
the Musical.
just there's more coverage if you are done listening and you want to watch some stuff. So there you go.
And more to come, because I have a little bit more that I haven't posted yet, because I
Yay.
just took pictures of everything.
Awesome.
Yeah, we want to give a big shout out and thank you to Rob Dellinger for composing our theme song. And to hear more of Rob's work and to see where he'll be playing next, please go to his website, alpharhythmkings.com.
And we are part of the Skywalking Network, Skynet, where you can also find other great shows like Skywalking Through Neverland,
Talking Apes,
the Max Effects Podcast,
Totally Tell Me Everything,
Star Warsologies,
and the YouTube shows Today in Star Wars History and Collectopolis.
You can check out all of the Skywalking Network podcasts and articles at skywalkingthroughneverland.com.
You can find us on social media at Neverland Clubhouse Pod, at Kelly Turkel, at Jedi Tink, and at CLT8635.
yeah, my Instagram got hacked, so I have a new one.
Yeah. All right. You can also find us on Facebook at Kelly Turkel, Courtney Turkel, and our Facebook group.
You can, Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook group. So just search Facebook for Skywalking Through Neverland group, request to join, and then answer the questions that pop up. Do it, or we can't let you in. All right, then. Second star to the right and straight on till morning. Join us for our next adventure from the Neverland Clubhouse.